Welcome back to another episode of Finance. Holiday consumer spending numbers are at record highs, and the job stats are speaking another language. We have to talk about it. Don't forget to subscribe, comment on the video down below if you learn anything or if there's anything you want us to talk about. But first, don't y'all always realize that there's always like a new record of holiday spending? Why do you think that is? I feel like it's because like the prices just keep going up. So even if we spend the same amount or just a little bit less, it's still a new record. I don't know. Y'all do your own research. I'm just saying, let's talk about the numbers though, because online holiday shopping was at record highs. Let's get into the details. Black Friday, according to the good old internet, we spent $11.8 billion on Black Friday alone. On Cyber Monday, we spent $14.2 billion online on Cyber Monday. And then the full holiday season forecast, we're expected to spend $253.4 billion. Who has the money? Where are people getting the money from? Obviously, there's still a lot of people employed, right? But I can tell you where people are getting the money from. There's a credit card stat. We are sitting on $1.2 trillion in credit card debt. So it's not even about how are people spending. We know the how, right? The stats are there. And, you know, the interest rates for average, I believe they're at 20+%. So if you have a high credit card balance right now, my only recommendation, I can't tell you what to do, would be to do whatever you can to bring down that debt, because it's going to continue to hurt you financially. We have to, continue. And I'm not sitting here saying I don't use my credit card. I use a credit card. Go get yourself a 15-month interest-free credit card. Go spend on that before you spend on that 20% month-to-month credit card. We got to be a little bit smarter going into 2026 because everybody else is prepping. So, and when I mean everybody, I mean the sharks. So we need to start prepping as well too. If you didn't know, we are getting a new federal chairman. Chairman Powell will not be here next year. I know Mr. Trumpito has been working to get him out. I think he's selecting between two guys named Kevin. You can do your own research on that. But yes, I'm assuming that whoever is the next Fed chairman will be best buds with Trumpito, because that's how they're going to get the job. He's interviewing two guys, and he's obviously going to lean towards whoever listens to him to bring interest rates down. That's what he wants. He wants more people to invest. He wants more people to take out mortgages. So look for the 50-year mortgage to be out next year. But the details are in the jobs data. As there has been a lot of government holding back from information because of the shutdown. So the stats is not good, but it's not 2008, right? The issue here and where we're at is jobs are firing slower, but then they're like not hiring. So there's like a very stagnant station that we're in with the jobs. And, I think a lot of companies are trying to see how much money they can make with AI. And, I said it in the past, I really can only recommend everybody, if you're out there without a job, if you've lost a job recently, figure out a way to use this AI to help you in your field, in your career. How can you master AI versus like be mad at it or just like forget that it's there? Use ChatGPT, Google has a whole AI system that even I'm looking into, because it's just like you got to adapt. This is the same thing when the internet came in the 2000s. Don't be yellow pages. You have to adapt to the new technology to just grow in this world. We're a fast moving economy, and it's sad. But that's why the people feel stuck. There's fewer job openings, slower hiring. So there's something to think about. You have to add another skill to your archive, sharpen your iron, get in that field or figure out whatever it is you need to do to improve your skills, because there's people out there with 5 to 10 skills, and you just have one. So something for you to think about. I'm not the jobs guru, but, some words of encouragement for anybody out there that is trying to figure it all out. So the real question is Wall Street preparing for a recession? And I do think we're still in somewhat of a bull market, and I've heard that a lot. Shout out to Trap, Wall Street Trapper. I watch him a lot. He said he also confirmed we're still in a bull market, but things are choppy. I think people are kind of like, as everything is kind of stagnant, as an investor, you kind of become stagnant as well too. Some people are risky and some people take their chances, but the majority kind of stay stagnant with what's going on. So we're trying to see what's going on with jobs. Are Americans going to figure out a new way? We always kind of bounce back during hard times. So are we going to figure out new ways to create new jobs? Is the data centers going to ruin our society? A lot of people are fighting on the data centers. I just seen a news report of, some residents here in Atlanta crashing a town hall meeting about data centers because they didn't want it. And, I think that's a very big uproar. The data centers take up a lot of energy. So, but we're kind of embracing AI into this new world. So we're at a standstill where we're going. But, inflation is a key thing that we're paying attention to as investors. That's what we need to be paying attention to, the cost of things, and then debt. There was this talk about liquidity and the banks not having proper liquidity. That's why we're doing the QE. Do your own research on what that is, quantitative easing. The government or the Fed's giving the banks money to be a little bit more liquid. I guess there was a private equity issue. All these companies are throwing around this: invest in 1 billion. Google and Disney invest X amount of billion into OpenAI, and it's like, where is everybody getting all these billions from? You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of big numbers are being thrown out there, and these banks don't have this cash, y'all. If you got a 10 ball, go ahead and just walk up to the bank and go get it, and I guarantee you they tell you got to come back or you got to order it or something like that. So that's just where we're at. I don't think banks have always been like cash liquid. They're investing the money. Banks are also investors and they're lenders. So they're lending it to people, they're investing it themselves to make cash. So it's like, I think that as a whole, Wall Street's looking to see how liquid we are as an economy and, just how much we grow. Like, are we really going to grow with this AI thing? And I think within this next year, we're going to see if people are actually making money, right? Are companies actually making money off this AI stuff? Laying off X amount of people, are they getting it back? Are they more productive? I think that's what Wall Street's trying to see. So I think earnings within the next few earnings reports will be, very critical. What the next Fed chairman does will be very critical. Obviously lower interest rates are great. Means more people investing. Last time we had super low interest rates, more people bought homes and more people invested. So that's something for you to think about. My only recommendation for everybody, look into, some type of ETFs or stocks that support mortgages, because if the government is trying to go to 0% interest rate, that means people are going to be buying more homes. People can afford more homes versus, when the interest rate went up to 7%, it became a little bit more expensive. The price of a mortgage doubled at that point. So you're going to be bringing that price of a mortgage down. You're going to be bringing that price of borrowing down. And, what do good old capitalistic Americans do when the interest rates are at their lowest? We spend and we invest. So I'm not sure if we'll get to zero, but I'm going to keep my hopes high because I'm invested in the market, and I really do think that everybody should. So if you're invested in the market, please leave a comment down below. Say what's up. Say hi. If you're not, I'm interested in possibly doing a video of helping people, just get their first investment in. My first investment was 5 $1 investments on Cash App. So, it's never too late or too early to start. As long as you have a Cash App account. If you want to be beginner, start with a Cash App account. If you want to move up a little bit, go with a Robinhood account. There's different ways to do it. You can go big with the Schwab. There's many different ways, but I definitely don't want my people watching me to lose out on an opportunity to make money. So keep that in mind. We could see a choppy start to 2026 as we ride this boat, ride this wave, see how everything goes. But we'll see. I'm always excited, always excited to invest. So appreciate y'all for watching. Until next week, I'll see y'all.